We've seen our fair share of pixelated adventures, but none that quite honor its source material as well as Westerado Double Barreled. Developer Ostrich Banditos has refined their free online game into a fully featured spaghetti western. Is it an indie title worth saddling up for, or should you stay out of the desert heat? The game's plot is set up quickly. A murderer burns down your ranch and kills your family almost as fast as you're introduced to them. Of course, it's up to you to identify the mysterious killer and avenge your fallen kin. It seems the locals have their own issues as well, and can tell you about the notorious antagonist's appearance in exchange for whatever help you choose to give them. Overall, the story isn't terribly interesting, but witty character dialogue helps carry the narrative along nicely. Players will spend a great deal of time interacting with townsfolk who will reward you with hints and tips. Choice of what to say in these conversations is abundant. While a lot of these will alter only simple lines of dialogue, it's often used effectively as avenues to find and complete new missions. People trade a piece of information on the villain's appearance for a completed mission, meaning once you've helped enough characters, you can set out to find the murderer without finishing your entire itinerary. Story progress actually depends upon not completing every quest you come across, as some progress and tasks may impede you in others. A rancher friend may want to rally farmers together for a franchise, but that can be difficult if you just finish killing half of them to release their buffalo for an Indian chief. The sort of fail-state handling in missions like this is extraordinarily unique, putting a fresh spin on the quest-collecting adventure. Choices will dictate your overall experience from beginning to end, each decision bearing permanent consequence. If you decided it was easier to kill the Pony Express driver than it was to pay him, don't expect to see him for the rest of your playthrough. Ultimately, you can navigate around your failed missions and complete whatever is still possible in order to collect clues, but this level of gravity in your choices and failures feels real in a way that is rarely seen in games. It's up to each player to decide how they want to get from one end of the game to the other, who to help and who to harm, and the overall what kind of hero they want to be. Because of this, Westerado holds excessive replayability after your first round of the relatively short story is over. Though most will be able to complete the main story in about 4 or 5 hours, this is leaving many quests unsolved. The game's length becomes much longer for those who want to replay and see different paths, and you'll likely want to do this to experience the game's fascinating attention to detail rather than for any character's sake. While the locals make for some funny conversation, the writing isn't nearly as impressive as the carefully structured space out here in the desert. Quest givers are placed in thoughtful locations. You'll often finish one mission to immediately discover 2 more. There is the occasional fetch quest, but most tasks feel deeper than that, having you actively take part in the locals' problems through various mixes of exploration, action, and speech. There are a handful of different weapons to choose, from dual pistols to shotguns and rifles. Each have distinct capabilities and optimal situations to be used in. Money is tight, so the addition of the shooting range to find which gun suits your preference is appreciated. Something quickly noticeable in the gunplay is the restriction from shooting up or down. Characters can only fire from left or right. While this seems limiting at first, it actually makes for some entertaining 16-bit shootouts as black bars enclose on the screen during your conflicts to emphasize the showdown. The atmosphere the game goes so far to create is done with expert care. Pixel art has been masterfully crafted, environments are a beauty to marvel, and character models convey a surprising level of detail for their simplicity. Accompanying songs are magnificent but few, with live recorded instruments helping carry your adventure along. Each song is excellently chosen for their attached location, but the main overworld theme may start to drone on during extended sittings. Nearly every western set piece imaginable is present. You'll visit the sheriff to get news on outlaws, the Pony Express is there to make a delivery, and maybe you'll even visit the nearby saloon to take a load off and play some poker. It might be a short trip, but Westerado Double Barreled is a must-have for indie lovers. It's an experience that handles atmosphere, decision-making, and comedic narrative better than most big-budget releases. It's definitely worth ponying up for this adventure.
Don't forget to subscribe and share.